Alright, so this is our route out to Cantigny. So we started off at home, take a right onto Lakeshore, and our first stop is actually not Cantigny. We're going to a restaurant for lunch that's on the way. It was this really good vegan-vegetarian place, turned right on Wrightwood. And this is a little jog down Clark to stay on Wrightwood. I didn't actually put arrows in for it. But yeah, the vegan place was really, really, really good. It's called Ground Control, and it's a little bit out of the way, left on Racine. Coming up is Cortland, and this road is a little bumpy, so it was a little rough. So thankfully, none of that shows up in the time lapse. And Elston, I love Elston. It's so much fun to bike on Elston. Armitage was a little weird. The road got a little beat up in places, but it was kind of cool to see all the neighborhoods changing around us, and there's lots of interesting stuff along the street, and actually the Ground Control restaurant is on Armitage, so you'll see it in a second. There we go. Lunch break. So then we kept going, and we ended up getting out to Laramie, I think is the next turn, so we're making a left onto Laramie. We were only on here for a little bit. This street got a little interesting in parts, particularly when we were at stoplights. We heard some very interesting conversations, but we got through pretty quickly. And then Augusta. Now, part here is all under construction, so we were kind of in some pain. But once we get through it, we're entering into the Oak Park area, and everything got like super nice, and like tons of trees and super big houses, and it was really pretty. Some of the colors were starting to come in, but most of them aren't there yet. And hey, look, it's Concordia. Yeah, so we biked right past Concordia, took a left on Keystone, and it looked like a turn there, but we actually just went around some construction. That quick stop before the left on Hawthorne and the right on Keystone was actually, and the right on Washington, was actually this nice little park that we went to, and just kind of hung out for a little bit. Left onto Fifth Avenue, we're checking our map there, and right onto the Prairie Path. So we were trying to get to the Prairie Path, and this stretch of it is a little weird. There's a lot of street crossings, which is not the greatest, particularly ones like those where it was really big streets. But it worked out well enough, and yeah, we only got a little confused here. So this is Warren Avenue, which is kind of a shortcut of things. Forest Avenue to the Prairie Path again. We could have taken another road, but it would have been super busy and super crazy. So we're going along here, and unfortunately the GoPro's battery isn't quite up to it, even at 30 FPS instead of 60. So somewhere along here the battery dies. Of course. This part was actually really pretty though. There was tons of cool like bridges, and it was basically along an old train route, so there was a ton of open space that they converted into prairie and green space and parks and all sorts of stuff. So it was really pretty. And then the battery died. So we biked this 33-minute-ish stretch without the camera. So unfortunately you just have to listen to me talk for this part. But once we got to Wheaton, we stopped in this really awesome candy store that's basically just this like hallway filled with candy, and it's literally just a hallway. It's not that big at all, and it was really, really, really cool, and they had tons of good stuff. But anyway, now we're back on the Prairie Path, and we were supposed to go that way, but the directions were confusing. We ended up looking north, but had to go south. So we turn onto Child Street, and this route is not the route that I would recommend. Google Maps actually changed their route. Yeah, that spot back there with the giant pumpkins was pretty cool. Lots of big pumpkins. So yeah, poorly named streets. That Firefighters Park was actually really cool as well. It was just kind of this nice little place. And here we are getting lost again because I wanted to get off of Roosevelt, but unfortunately no such luck. And yeah, we're pretty much there. Cantigny was really cool. There was lots of interesting stuff. It was a little weird, and we got there way too late, so pretty much everything was closed, but the idea.